On this week's edition of Just a Walk, thanks, it's episode 8. We talk about two done hot who ain't coming back. Keys in the bowl, the Seymour Swingers Party. Jono and Butch FaceTiming. Were they wearing clothes? Were they not? Our Maurice filly, out of a winning 2-year-old mare, heads to the Hayes camp. Mitch Beer and Gano had a sleepover. The umpiring in the AFL, US politics, Bohan claiming he's a 6 handicapper. Turn it up. Nasumi, the Churchill, and Henry Dwyer's monolith performance with Asfura winning at Ascot. I hope you enjoy the show. G'day and welcome to Just a Walk, thanks, episode 8. John O'Rayner, the racing manager at Mailbag Bloodstock, joins us. Rob Scurry, they speak to him. He watches horses parade before they race and he bets after what they tell him. Mickey Gannon, a man who wears more hats than anyone, is with us, and also the great man Butch Bourne. Butch, how are you, mate?
Good, Dico. Good.
Big weekend. Telling me Keys might be going on the bowl. Bit of a retreat for the Seymour sort of
Yeah.
older population, is it, or is it all age event? What is it?
No. It's the annual swingers weekend we have every year. Just some old mates, and few of them have sort of traded a few in over the years and landed on a few youngies and that sort of thing. But we just accept anyone into the circle. But we're heading up to the Grampians out that way somewhere this weekend.
Well, that sounds pretty exciting. Gana, is that why you're currently in transit, my man?
Yeah, just on my way there. How much? What's it per ticket, Butch? What are you going to pay? That's the entry fee.
Just
Buy
send
share.
me, just send me a photo of the family and I'll let you know whether you're in or not.
Yeah, g'day, Jack. Been a nice week. Been a nearly 10 days so since we've been on the podcast. Plenty's unfolded in that time.
I don't know if we had order to charge win the last time I did the podcast or not, but you and John and Mitchy Beard did a good thing. He went around again maybe yesterday or the day before. How's
Yeah,
that been, Gunnar?
yeah, it's been a good experience. Mitch has done a good job with him. He went around on Tuesday at Scone, bit of like a drunken sailor. So he's got a bit to learn. The horse. I think he might need to find the rail very, very quickly in his races moving forward. And he'll win another one, mate. And he was pretty tired. I went and visited him yesterday afternoon. He looked a bit tired, and he's a bit of a sook. He's a typical Kiwi, a bit soft. And I just showed him a picture of Richie McCaw and said, "You got to be more like this." And he responded well this morning.
And what was it? What was it like? You know, Mitch Beer's obviously a big man on social media, but not many get to bunk down, not with him, but down his way. What was that experience like? Any key
It's
takeaways?
outstanding. Well, key takeaways is it found one of the best Italian joints in the Wollongong region, which is absolutely no surprise. Food connoisseur, Mitch.
What was it called?
You know what? I can't remember, but as has been mentioned a few times, it'll be on Mitch's credit card statement, so I'll let you know.
I'm texting Mother Teresa right now. She's a local. See what she says
Yeah,
is the best.
it's in an alleyway down there in the Gong, and like fantastic setup, proper Italian food, and it was good down there. Track work this morning, 4 o'clock. They wouldn't let me on any of the horses. Apparently, I'd break their backs, so I just got to watch and clock and sat there with Kerry Parker, the trainer of the great Think It Over, and yeah, good.
Butch, you've been pretty busy. Few jump outs. You had two runners, Seymour. Sort of like do you sort of work the program around when they're going to run at Seymour? It's a question I've got for you. And also had a nice horse go around again in Nasumi at Sandown yesterday. Very busy man.
Yeah, busy for me. Yeah, I managed to have two runners at the home track on Tuesday, and they both found the fence, which was the only place you didn't need to be. But the rail was at 12 metres, so we won't get too harsh on the jockeys there at barrier draws and race patterns and etc. But they do suit a certain horse, those tracks with the rail out. A couple of babies jumping out Wednesday morning, excellent. Very happy with them. And Nasumi was good. She ran fourth.
Good ride, Ethan.
Sorry.
A nice ride by Ethan Brown, I thought.
Yeah, look, I really like the horse, and she'll disappear, and you won't see her for a while she goes from a 3 to a 4-year-old and develops a body and that sort of thing. But probably the most pleasing part was that she didn't just flop out yesterday. She actually participated in the race from the barriers, so that's a positive, because you can't afford just to give them a start every time you go around. So that was the positive of it. But she's just not there at the moment physically. So, look, I think she's had a win and a couple of thirds and a fourth or whatever. So she's very genuine, very honest, and I think you'll see a really nice 4-year-old next season.
Speaking of genuine and honest, Rob, how was mentally? How did you handle the abandoned meeting?
The abandoned meeting? Which one? There's too many.
Two Saturdays ago.
The Saturday one.
That was all right. I didn't go, so I heard the rain on the skylight, and I think Jono from the chat group said day off, Rob. So that was sweet.
Then you had to do 11 of the best last Saturday. I mean, 11 horses, 11 yards. That's a lot of conversations with horses.
Yeah, and big fields, thanks to big prize money. They're doing a good job. Yeah, look, it was a long day, but back to first winner. It's got that Until Valhalla form, mailbagblogstock.com.au. She's going around as favourite just about on Saturday. Drawn well or low. Looked at the rail there, but she's been parading super. Always thought she was better than a Saturday horse, and she can get to that. She's a benchmark 70 now. If she wins, she'll get to that 75, which for me is sort of the marker of a Saturday horse. Mickey Gannon, 75. Is that what you got to be to win a Saturday race in winter?
Yep, sounds about right. Sounds about right. And she's right in that race. I actually made her one of my better bets. Hopefully I don't put the mock on you. But I think she'll be winning that race. The draw rail out 3 meters on a heavy-ish track. Oof, but she'll go back anyway, right? That's the natural pattern now.
She'll jump and just travel wherever she wants to travel, and if hypothetically, allegedly, if the data suggested that the rail wasn't going to be the place to be, well, she won't be on it, because she's got enough speed to be somewhere, but we're not going to dig her to use it. I don't think the inside draws a setback. It's a very small field already, and from what you guys are saying, they've abandoned the meeting today, so I doubt it's going to be like a good 4 and they're all going to run. So it probably gets even smaller. They're racing for 160,000, so it's a pretty good scenario for our horse and our owners, I think, on Saturday.
Yeah. She'll definitely do no work in the run. And that form line stacked up as well, Jack, with Mbella, I think is the name of that horse, came out and spanked him in the midway. So
yeah, Rob found it on top from the yard, I believe. It spoke to him, Rob.
100%, number 15. That's all it was. Didn't know it was until I saw. That's right. That's the thing. What we back. I actually backed it to win more than Until Valhalla the previous start at the Kenzo meeting. So, terrible. I think we'd had 3 cracks at her Until Valhalla. But I was sure that she was a better horse this time in, but it wasn't until she got that wet track and just half slow away, and that she showed us what she can do. But yeah, I think she's ticked the wet track box. It's going to be guaranteed pretty much a 9, or there's possibly a 10. There's possibly abandoned. It could be abandoned. If we get, I think it's 1 to 10 mils they've got on the day. If we get any more than 2, the meeting could be in trouble, I'd say.
Who Done Hot is not coming back. Is that a sign of abandoning it, Butch, or is it just more? There's a few on the ground. Let's see how they go before we come back.
No, I think you'll find that the horses owned 50% by Sheikh Mohammed and 50% by Andrew Lloyd Webber, and I think.
See, musician.
A musician. Is that
Musician?
like a musician or a magic?
I was inhaling as I was trying to spit that out. Isn't he a
you know,
Musicals.
Phantom of the Opera, etc., etc. You know, that sort of stuff.
Is that him?
Yeah, that's him. That's him. Yeah, and so I know he's vehemently against shuttling the horse. So as soon as the horse has shown himself to be, top class stallion, then he's sort of put the foot down there and decided that that won't be happening. So I think you'll find that it's his want and will that the horse doesn't shuttle. So just depends on whether he gets his way. But I would have thought that Godolphin Australia would have been keen to throw him over a few mares of theirs every season. So they'll be disappointed. But I thought 50-50 might have been 50-50, but not in this case. So
I think, I think it's absolute madness because this horse of a fairly low kind of base of mares is done an incredible job. It just seems to blend perfectly with our Northern Dance or whatever breed. It's just
love it. Good.
Yeah.
If we can get Northern Dancer in every episode, I'll be happy.
There we are. 1961 was he?
You just got to sort of throw in some of those names from time to time to give us a bit of credibility, I think.
Sadler as well, Sir Tristan.
It'll be good for our trivia show, Jack.
Yep. Yeah. It'll be embarrassing
anyway,
for some.
I think it's a big loss anyway for our breeders.
Yeah. Well, he went from like 40 or 50, whatever he was, to about 110. So I think the plan might have been to scare everybody off and limit the book, and I think basically everyone wanted to book. So I don't know. I don't know the behind the scenes. I'm purely guessing all this, but I do know for a fact that Andrew Lloyd Webber is not. He's not keen on the shuttling of the horse. So it appears this season, at least, he's got his own way.
He's not a magician either.
Here all week, try the veal. We haven't spoke about it, and we should because it's an achievement for the country. I was in shock when I woke up and I saw that Asfoora had won at Royal Ascot. Like absolute shock. I don't know. I still don't know what it means or what to take from it, but it's a good day, I guess, for our country, and full credit to Henry Dwyer and his team and Mitch Aiken. What do we think of it, guys? Start with you, Jono, as a Kiwi. Do you take pride in that victory?
Not at all.
Crowded house.
Also great.
Russell? Rusty?
We're just trying to give you one back, John.
Yeah, no. No, I mean, it was interesting enough that it won. Wouldn't say it excited me, no.
Rob?
Surprised at one, the least interest I've had in Royal Ascot in a long, long time. I guess Pistol wasn't there this year, but surprised at one. They must be a weak lot.
Mick?
Yeah, well summed up. I don't have a offer.
It just strengthens the what everyone believes. How strong the European stayers are and how good our sprinters are. Really, I mean that's the. I think when you look at a neutral jurisdiction like Hong Kong, and you look at the horses that they purchase, they love the Australian product because they're good, tough doing horses, handle the stable life, and can perform anywhere from 1,000 metres up to 1,600, which would be the majority of the races in Hong Kong, I would have thought. So we bred a good sprinter, and it's how many we've had. We must have getting close to getting to double figures. How many winners of the Australian horses won those sprint races? Schwartz won 2 of them, didn't he? Back in the day.
Nature Strip.
Takeover Target.
And Dan Morton's. What was Dan Morton's horse? Scenic Shot?
Scenic Blast.
Blast.
Miss Andretti.
Andretti, yep. Nature Strip, yep.
Like it's great. It's great for Australian racing, but to a point, like I have no interest in watching it whatsoever because I'm not sure what I'm betting against or on. But
The Imperatriz owners must be upset they couldn't get her over there. How far does she win by if S4 is winning that race?
You mean the new owner?
No, I mean the original owners before she quote unquote retired.
Yeah, well, they
Five or
did.
six.
In fairness to them, they did say that there was wear and tear, et cetera, et cetera. So whether, I think, especially with mares too, if the physical transcends to the mental, and that you see a few characteristic changes and that sort of thing, they can't talk, so they usually act it out. And she may have started, Imperatriz may have been acting it out towards them, and they would have thought the time was right. So, it's always good to go out on top. Which she did. That's
Speaking of going out on top, wear and tear, we've never really done this before. I don't know if we'll do it again, but we're going to dive into a little bit of US politics. And then we will touch on Julian Assange at some point soon, Rob, so stay calm.
good stuff.
Gano, have you ever heard a bigger lie from a politician than old Joe Biden claiming to be off fucking 6? Because
and then eight a minute later.
Even 8. Like, he's got a 6 is a lower handicap than me, for God's sakes. I wish Trump had have taken him on for money or for the result of the election.
Poor old Trumpy reckons he's won 2 club championships as well. So, like, there's not a chance of that happening either.
I've seen your swing. I know your swing.
There's just no way that Don has won a club championship anywhere in this world unless he's the only person to play in it. But Biden does suggest he plays off 6. He wouldn't play off 26. I did see his skull swing. It is atrocious.
Oh, it looks like it hurts.
And then it hurts just as much to watch. And then he comes out and says, "Oh, I'll take you on if you carry your clubs." Oh.
Like, fucking what are they going to be carrying around? Like a putter, a 5-iron, a pitching wedge, and a driver? Like, for fuck's sake, in one of those little pencil travel bags?
Yeah, as far as golfers go, they'd both be carrying 68 in the picnics and would start $101. Like, they shouldn't even be talking about their game.
Imagine living in the country and then watching that debate going, "Oh, which one will I vote for?" Like it was like an episode out of Weekend from Bernie's, wasn't it?
John Howard's attempt to bowl a cricket ball was an absolute disgrace, but that debate that brings it to a new level.
Oh, country's in safe hands.
Oh yeah.
Well, just the week before, the media was telling us that he's sharp, he's onto it, and then all at the same time they're all just gone, "Ooh, maybe he's not," and they've just done a complete 180 on him. And who are we looking at? I was watching the betting on the day. Democratic nominee.
Well, the current market from a plastic that shall not be named. Donald Trump $1.60, Kamala Harris second favorite at $5, Joe Biden 7, Michelle Obama 15, Hillary Clinton's $56, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. $76. He does a lot of good gear on social media. He puts us all to shame with the rig and the. I saw him catching a snake today on Instagram.
What is Michael Obama? What's he at?
Big Mike.
Calm down, Rob. Calm down, Rob.
16 Jimmy Choos. Yeah, Michael. There is a speech where, Michael and I are mentioned. But look, it's fascinating. If the Democratic nominee, there might be betting. I'd be saying Newsom would just about be my number one. I don't think Michelle wants to do it.
Well, they wouldn't do it unless I think they're going to win, and I reckon he might have dug a pretty big hole.
We can't have Kamala. She got like 0% at the Democratic National Committee when she ran for their nominee last time in 2020. Like, she dropped out. Tulsi Gabbard wrecked her. Just calling her. Yeah. Anyway, it's for another day.
what's the system, Rob? If he steps down, does she step straight up, or do they do it like they do over here, do a in-house party vote to select a leader?
Well, well, we have had a president getting shot before, Kennedy's uncle, and I think the deputy just steps in and takes over. So yeah, I think Kamala, if he stepped down, I think Kamala would be the president, and whether they can get her to step down, I'm not sure for somebody else, because yeah, she's very unpopular.
Well, if Joe gets voted in, he's about $1.10 to not be there within the 12 months, isn't he?
Exactly. And this has been plainly obvious to everyone for a long time that the man is, slipping.
He's
big time.
He's one foot in and one on a banana skin, really, isn't he?
You see him trying to. Jill had to walk him down the one step. It's like a drunk kind of person, like hopping down like a gutter, like it was walking on a sort of. It was.
My
cringe.
man Tucker Carlson reckons like she's the reason he's still running because she just loves it.
When are you into Tucker?
Where did you?
He's right wing man, Chad. You can't. You're based. He's lefty greeny. You cannot be meant.
Well, you don't have to be a racist, Rob, to be right wing. All right, the two aren't like connected. Okay, now we won't start talking about that.
What about Julian? What about Julian?
Yeah, let's give a bit of background. From the day I've met Rob, I reckon the night I met Rob, which would have been 10, 12 years ago, he mentioned Julian to me, and he has been one of his biggest supporters publicly. He's championed his cause on Twitter and anywhere else, and he's been right behind him. I got a couple of questions. So it was a very big moment for Rob. How did you celebrate it? Where'd you hear the news? How'd you celebrate it? And thoughts on Kevin Rudd getting himself involved?
Oh, Kevin. I was with an old mate of mine for like 20, 30 years who just mentioned it that on his phone. It's a bit like kind of Asphora, waking up to Asphora the next day. I was just sort of like, oh, kind of happy, yeah, and surprised. But yeah, he's obviously, he's been a thorn in the side of the US government, all about, transparency both ways, which is what the US government wants for, they want to know everything about you and what you put in your body and everything like that. But they don't want their misdeeds exposed. So that's where WikiLeaks has come in over the last few years, never published one thing that needs to be retracted, which was a big selling point for me, as Julian says, war can be, most wars the last 50 years have been started through media lies. And yeah, I think it's a true statement. Anyway, I'm just happy because, I thought he was going to die in jail, and, I can put it away. I can find another excuse to get a personality.
Can we just touch on, Rob, the behind the scenes of Jennifer Robinson, who was representing him legally? What an outstanding woman she is, and what an outstanding job she did.
Great story. Country girl from New South Wales.
Yeah, daughter of Terry Robinson.
Yes.
Mick, a very, very good horseman from that part of the world. And of course, Jennifer's brother, Dane Robinson from Magic Millions, who we all know so well. Wonderful family, but very, very, like her, the way she spoke post Julian Assange being released, it was outstanding.
Mm.
Yeah, she'll sell a few books.
Yeah, well, so she should. She needs to get like her share of what's happened.
She will. She will. Full credit. Absolutely.
He had to pay for his trip home, which some sort of Bitcoin bloke just chucked in 8 coins for him and paid for.
He has to pay Evans. See,
I'm not sure, but yeah, some are not anonymous.
Even if it's LJ, you pay for it.
Yeah, so it's very good. I'm sure your man Tucker, Jack, will probably get the first interview, as I think Julian's got a share in his network. Tucker gave him the option to buy in, and I think he said yes.
Well, another good bet. let's straighten it back up. I mean, it's supposed to be racing and bloodstock focused podcast. But before we do, uh, Butch, what was it like to FaceTime Jono when he was half nude last week? Was that a shock to the system? Let's get that out there, and just get it
Well,
off our chest.
we'll get the story straight. I answered his phone call when I hopped out of the shower. It was I who put him on the screen. So put myself on.
That's why you're asking Jono if he's got hot water out there at Seymour.
Yeah, the camera plays tricks, doesn't it? Yeah, it's not a very good ad as I'm heading to the weekend, Jack. Thanks for that. Yeah. Anyway, listen, can I just divert for a second? You were talking earlier about the trivia night. Now, there was a night back in the day when my children were going to St Mary's Primary School, and they had a trivia night. So it was all a fundraising exercise, and just a bit of a backstory to the night. It was all to do with films, film stars, songs, etc., etc. So my mother, who was a film buff, so I watched every movie that was ever made on TV and screen, and I knew all the actors and actresses because my mother recited them verbatim. So when they started putting up still shots of movies, I was just rattling off the titles, left, right, and centre. So one of the parents on our table, Kelvin Lubeck, who loves a good bet and a bookmaking and a rort, he decided that I was that quick to answer these questions. He was taking side bets with every other table in the room. So I think he got on for like 600 or something like that by the time he'd finished working the room. And I was at like that just put us still up, and I'd see Ryan O'Neill and Barbara Streisand, and I'd say, the Owl and the Pussycat, and I was just bang, it was just like lightning, and Calvin was just beside himself. He just saw an opportunity and said, "This guy is just the guru, and we're gonna beat him hands down." So he got on for about 600 in the room. The first 10 they read out, I was 0 for 10. It'd be fair to say up to this day that there's not a time that goes by that when he comes out, Kelvin Lubeck from Kelvin Lubeck Plumbing, comes out to fix a leaky pipe that it's not mentioned. But anyway, if you're going to answer questions, this is the moral to the story. Answer them with conviction, Jack.
Yeah.
As long as you sound like you know what you're doing. Anyway.
Speaking of, you've taken over the training of our Churchill colt. It's down there in sunny Seymour now with you. You're now its dad. How's it going?
He's super. Yep. Very, very nice horse. Lovely to work with. He excites everyone that jumps on top of him. And we can't wait for another 2 to 3 weeks where I think that as a yearling, he will, well, it depends if it's before the 31st of July, but he could be jumping out, on the grass somewhere, which is going to be a very exciting prospect for a horse of his age. He's very mature.
Gano, let's give him some racing content if you're still listening. Well, you got a bet for us over the weekend?
Yeah, let's go. Ramwick race 2 in the midway. What's the name of the horse? Navy Blood, I believe it's called. It is on the 7-day backup. Right form line's got too far back off them last week. Will be much better setup from Rosehill to Ramwick. 1,200 metres, no issue, good record. I think it will absolutely brain them.
Race 3, that is.
Race 3, sorry, until Valhalla is race 2. A horse that is another one of my best bets, but the clear best bet of the day, race 3, what number is that, Jono? Number 1, Navy.
Yeah.
Getting around 3. That's silly. I only got to start with a 2 in front of it.
Butch, have you got any horses you've been following, or is the
Well, my suggestion, Jack, thanks for asking. My suggestion would be that don't, if you backed Aberfeldy Boyd the other day at the shorts, don't be afraid to take the $8.50 about him, because I think you'll see the horse will improve. He had a bit of a setback going into his last run, and I think the 25 this might have been a bit too much for him the other day. So I would say have something on Aberfeldy Boy.
okay?
Horse
Berkshire
with
Breeze.
a lot of talent.
Berkshire Breeze is short. I thought race 1, number 2, Earth God. I loved how it won at Geelong. Good debut, good enough debut. Looks like it's improved. The perfect camp, the perfect barrier, straight suits. I think it's a great bet to roll the short priced I Found You. And then in race 4, I thought Jenny's Meadow was one of the better runs from the Flemington meeting just gone. Very, very strong through the line. It was $6 there yesterday. I think anything above $5 is a really fair price. I really respect Pisces as well, but I think Jenny's Meadow in race 4 is huge value. John, what do you got?
We'll go to Hawke's Bay in New Zealand. Hastings, race number 4, number 2, Dusty Road. A bit of a strange placement with this horse. At last prep, it ran 5th, not beaten far in a Group 2. This prep, it's run super in each of its 3 runs. But a bit of a strange placement. It went 1,300 twice, back to 1,200, and goes to 1,400 here. But I think the 1,400 will suit and should be running over the top of them.
Sweet. Rob, have you got anything for us at Randwick, or just sort of following Valhalla?
Yeah, just following the filly. Just hopefully we get through the meeting. So nothing in Cheer and Windstorm in Flemington. Should go close too.
100%. Quickly touch on the AFL because there's a bump around. There's a massive game on Friday night, Butch. Essendon, they were awful last weekend, like very dour, and it's got a little bit of last year's feeling about it, their season. Obviously, a lot of people aren't taking that loss seriously because it wasn't their fault. Sort of where do you sit on that and their luck in run last week, and what do you think they're going to put up on Friday night when Essendon take on Collingwood at the MCG in front of 90,000?
Probably 95. The third quarter on last Saturday night between Essendon and Geelong was probably the worst quarter of umpiring I've seen in my lifetime.
Big call.
Which is quite an indictment because I've been around a while. Just atrociously just terrible decisions. I do agree with you. However, they probably need to be a bit more resilient, and show a bit more fight after being cheated in the third quarter. But we
I expected more from that.
Yeah, no, I
should have got you fresh.
Having repeated the story for 7 days straight now, it's sort of lost a bit of its steam. But it'd be fair to say that alone in the lounge room last Saturday night would have been good viewing for anybody. But no, it's crunch time for them. They've the old saying, "Piss or get off the pot." I think for all you guys that love a bit of stats and data, I think they're very strong in a few areas of their game. So if they can get 2 Metre Peter and these guys to kick some goals, then they might be okay. But their best is good, but not unlike the Swans, you don't see it every week.
Swans take on St Kilda at the Marvel Dome on Sunday afternoon. I can't believe the line.
Will they kick above 60 points each team?
I think the Swans will kick like 80 to 100 points.
Yeah.
I think they'll bounce
100%. Swans are the best by miles. Hawthorn are the 4th best team in the league. We're playing the Cats at that ground with 115 across, so it's like 30 metres narrower than most AFL grounds. So that's half a cheat. That Geelong Stadium. But no Sicily. Hawthorn could be in trouble this week. Butch, what do you think?
No, not at all. One soldier out, one soldier in. Rob, come on, that's the way it works. Hey, just quickly, just going backwards. Hey, Mick, what about Fleetwood in the last at Flemington?
This week,
Speaking of umpiring decisions,
Oh, like
Mick,
how that was a like not how bookmakers didn't have the brain power. I think Dabble did just to refund the punter that backed that horse. Staggering. Mick?
Fleetwood in the last. So you get $5. What's that?
Ferrari's come back and just put on two big, thick, dominant performances this prep. Soft and heavy ground. Killed him at Ballarat. I found the race tricky.
Damien D-Lane off, Earl Nolan on. Yeah, price sensitive.
It's a setback.
I haven't done the race, so I wouldn't be running off the jump to back Fleetwood though, with any significant conviction.
I thought, but the market's done it. It's kind of taken it off us. But I did
It's
think
$3.30.
Bossy Nick was a big price early, but they've cleaned that right up. It was $9, $10, $12. It's now $6.
Yeah. Probably getting to the right, like getting close to the right price for Fleetwood now. Yeah. Pretty efficient early, but I guess you can get on in Victoria straight away, right? Yeah.
Yeah, if the market keeps going how it does, I will back Fleetwood at sort of $6 plus. But I think it's a really tight race between those three. Boys, anything else we should go over, talk about? Any Bloodstock or racing gear that we've missed? We've done Too Darn Hot, Keys in the Bowl, Jono FaceTiming nude. Our Maurice Billy heads to the Hayes boys who are airborne. Butch and I caught up with JD last week. Lovely guy. Bit going on. He's got a busy week ahead for him.
Yeah. No, well, we better send him all the best because JD and Brett are having a child tomorrow. They're booked in, so that's definitely happening tomorrow. So all the best to them. But they're on a bit of a roll, aren't they? They were a bit stiff. I think Flemington a couple of weeks ago, they could have easily had 5, I reckon.
Yeah. No, they're going really good. We're really happy to have a horse with them. They really like the Maurice filly, so it's headed there. If you'd like to get involved, find out more, Jono, Jono, at themailbag.com.au. We have a couple of yearlings available as well, a couple with Kieran and one with Gavin Bedgegood. Love to get you involved if you're interested. Again, Jono, Jono, at themailbag.com.au. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Give us some feedback if it's too much US politics for you. Let us know. And we might listen, we might not. Hope you have a great week. Hope you bet well. Let's hope you get through 10 of the best at Roundwick on Saturday. And pray to God, Zeus, Allah, Buddha, Bilbo Baggins, Ablett Senior and Junior that Windstorm and Valhalla can do a double for Mailbag Bloodstock. Bye for now.